Hey, how's it going? So yesterday I spoke about Kundalini awakening, or Kundalini and twin flames. That was like the combination. I'm Aurena Gatifola. I'm a healer, I'm a seer, I'm a multi-dimensional being. Of course, I'm a starseed. I'm the admin of the Arcturian group. Someone messaged me about hybrids, and I know there are many speculations, I know there are many informations, I know there are many conclusions, call it whatever you want. I just want to give some insights about being a hybrid, but then on the dimensions and levels and yeah, different levels. What is a hybrid? Okay, so now if you would look at me, you could say, hey, she's a human, she is a female. I'm not talking about gender here, okay? So I'm a female, I call myself a she, and I'm human, right? But then we're talking about being a starseed, because when we were born, we knew that when we looked at our family, like for me, example, I looked at my family and I was like, this is not my family. They don't even love me. The way I know about what love feels like. I did remember my past lives. I did remember about lives in India, in Egypt, in Africa, in Mexico. I do remember those past lives even when I was very little. And I always spoke to Source. I always spoke to God or universe, call it whatever you wish. And then when I traveled a lot, especially the last 3-4 years, and being in different countries, I looked at the beings, I looked at humans, and then I could see, wow, they are like totally different genetics, they're totally different auras and energies. And when you look at our genetics, in history in school, they tell you, oh, we are from monkeys, and the monkeys evolved and they became humans. But then when you go to the Bible, they say, oh, there was Adam and Eve, and God created Eve for Adam, but then there was Lilith before Eve came, and then there was the snake, and the snake is the evil. So Eve was the evil because she managed to give Adam the apple. But then in the end of the day, if you look into the Bible and you convert it, what's the apple? The apple is a symbol of unconditional love. The apple is a symbol of one of our glands, the third gland, the third eye gland. And the snake is our spine, the Kundalini energy, because when the Kundalini energy rises and you have an awakening, it goes up to the glands. We have 2 in our head, we have 7 altogether. And then we have the huge awakening, which the truth comes out and we remember who we are, we truly are. So we could say, okay, there are angels, but some people say aliens are angels and angels are aliens. But then when you look in different dimensions, there's a dimension of angels, there's a dimension of aliens. And then they're saying there's good and bad. So we have good aliens and we have bad aliens. And we used to have on Earth vampires. Like when I was in Mexico, I had a neighbor, and his brother used to work or was working. He's an archaeologist. And I know different archaeologists all over the world. And they even say, wow, there in the museums, there are skeletons of little aliens, which I have taken photos of. There are skeletons of little fairies and mermaids. There are skeletons of werewolves, but they're not opening it up to the public because they say the public is not ready for it. Now we can say, okay, they're hiding it from us, but at the same time we could say, okay, maybe humanity is really not ready for it. The people who are ready for it, they will get the information because it's all out there in the open. It's in your face. It's up to you if you want to know about the truth or not. So I don't even say that it's hidden. It's not hidden. You can do your research. I know all those things. I know most of the things from when I'm like really little. There are books. The internet is there now, which we didn't have those days. I'm born 1980. But we had books, and I knew from young age about the truth about this world. So it's not hidden. It's a choice you have to make if you want to know the truth or not. So now talking about hybrids. Yes, we have many abductions. That's when an alien comes and kidnaps, call it whatever you want. Maybe it's the government who kidnaps the people, but the aliens come and do real abduction. They don't need to kidnap the humans. And then the aliens come, extraterrestrials, and they abduct human beings. For example, the Greys. I remember once I did a healing session for myself, and then it was about the Greys, which they wanted to know what love is, but they always see humans having sex and then having a child and saying, I love you, and thinking sex is love. But you love, and then sex comes from love, and then creating a child and creating a family. So the Greys want to abduct the sexual, the genitals, and finding out more about love, right? Maybe it's not the right way. Maybe it's not the wrong way. They only can do it if you give your permission. There's a soul contract. There are contracts which, when you give your permission, they can do something with you. If you say you don't want it, they have to. It's one of the law of nature. The first law is they have to obey your free will. If you don't want something, nothing and no one can cross your boundaries, okay? It's something which has to come from inside. So now let's say there's a woman and there are good aliens out there and they want to help humanity to shift from 3D to 5D. And the fastest way would be to mix and breed, crossbreed the high evolved aliens with the humans, right? Like the Atlantean time, they had a 12 DNA strand, which we had psychic abilities like telekinesis, levitation, teleportation, being a seer, being empath, and it's all coming back. But there are genes and DNA within us which you could call alienated, so that the 3D world gets crossed with the high vibrational alien chromosomes, call it whatever you want. So let's say your mom was pregnant and she got abducted, and you remember that. But what they did is they didn't abduct her in a bad way, but what they did is they crossbreeded you either on a ship, or they mixed their DNA with your mom's DNA so that she could give birth to you, helping humanity so that your soul can incarnate from a high dimensional place or plane to incarnate on Earth, being a crossbreed, and then helping humanity evolve into 5D. Now it can be also just that universe is saying, okay, we're just bringing the souls into humanity, and the soul is bringing high frequent soul parts into human body so that the human body can evolve because of the high vibrational energy we are bringing into this planet. We all know that the world is changing. We all know that some species die, so new can be created. We all know about the story about Noah and the Ark. And some people say the Ark was not a ship, it was a spaceship. So there are different theories, but in the end of the day, a hybrid is a mix between human and alien. But then my question is, who's really alien? When you look at the Chinese, the Japanese, the Korean, the American, the Russian, the African, the German, the European, we're all very different. Like, look at our figure, look at our language, look at our hair color and skin color. We are like so different from each other. And maybe just that alone indicates already that we are from different star systems. So I would say all of us are just hybrids by nature, and there are highly evolved ones and not so highly evolved ones. And it's the same in the animal realm. When you look in the animals, there are some highly evolved ones and some are not so highly evolved. If you want to go more into depth about it and military science, many things is, you know, it's like, sorry, I'm not a fan of Gaia TV, and I'm not sorry about it. That's what it is, because how can it be that some people are exploring secrets and exposing it to the world and supposed to be killed and died because of that, and then there's Gaia TV with a military guy and he exposes everything and it's okay? So maybe the hidden agenda is in your face, that he's saying, oh, he's from the military, and he's even telling you that and not giving you the full story, and maybe even slightly changing little insights which are very key information, and he will not give it to you, or maybe he will change it and lie about it. This is something which I always tell people, you have common sense, so please, if some people get killed for sharing information, why are they in public making money and sharing big insights information, and they're like all fine and protected and safe? Sorry, it doesn't make sense to me. So what I always tell people, even especially in the Starseed community, trust yourself, be in your own power, and learn through experience. Do your own research. You know, just don't believe what someone writes or someone says. Most important is that you feel it in your heart, that you feel it in your gut, and that you trust your instinct what's going on, not your mind running wild and creating fear within you. Okay? Because in the end of the day, what 5D reality means is that you're centered within yourself, that we're in the time of Aquarius, that you have the Christ consciousness within you because you're the crystal, because you're connected with your heart and you're connected with source, and you know what's the truth. And depending on which level or evolution you're tapping into with the frequency and knowledge you want to get, that's what you